Okay guys, here we go. Don't mind the board, don't mind the chicken scratch, but this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to start off at number 10. And number 10 is CPA. So you may not think that we are, but we're always getting questions asked by our clients, what are the financial implications when buying a property? What's the value of this property if I were to sell tomorrow? What are the tax benefits of an investment property, or if I were to sell within the first 2 to 5 years of owning a property. Now, obviously, for the most professional advice, definitely hire an accountant, but we are, in some cases, a CPA. So number 10 is CPA or an accountant. Number 9. Designer, stager. So whenever we do a listing, our clients are always asking us about their property. What paint color should we choose? What furniture should I have? What is the latest fashion, styles, and trends for homes? And it's our job to be able to advise and educate our clients on what will help a house sell. Now, in most cases, people will use a stager to stage your homes before they sell, which I highly recommend because they're going to bring in the latest styles and fashions to help sell your home and get the maximum value. And the studies have shown that you can get up to 6 to 20% higher on your purchase price if you stage your home. So number 9, designer or stager. Number 8. Paralegal attorney. So we're not technically attorneys or paralegals, but as part of the closing process, we have to communicate with the attorneys and paralegals every single week that we're working on a closing. So clients are always asking us about real estate advice, that there are a lot of legal ramifications to it. So we do have to act as if we're an attorney. We're not an attorney. Obviously, you want to hire one if something's a little more technical and you need more legal advice. But we're basically treated like an attorney. And with being a paralegal, we're constantly keeping in touch with paralegals to make sure that title search is going fine. Is there any issues or anything that is needed in order for the property to close on time? And even if you're a listing agent, the buyer agent, the buyer technically hires the closing attorney, but you still want to keep in touch with them to make sure that the seller doesn't need anything in regards to keeping the closing on time and on schedule. So number 8 would be a paralegal attorney. Number 7, now this is going to sound a little bit redundant, but we are the realtor. So the thing is that, out of the 10 roles that we play, being a realtor is who we are, but it may not necessarily be the most important because, that's just one notch in our belt that we have to play. Obviously, we're helping our clients buy or sell homes, but when it comes to being a realtor and working with your clients, that's only one part of the process. So, obviously, when it comes to working with your realtor, you have to understand that they have so many other roles that being a realtor is not necessarily the most important. Now, you can kind of interchange all these roles as you see fit is what's most important, but in my opinion, being a realtor is only one part of the process, but it's not the most important part. So number 7, being a realtor. Number 6. Inspector. We are technically inspectors. Whenever we go to a property and we're showing it for our client, we are actually looking at every little nook, cranny, and minor detail to make sure that we spot anything that might seem alarming to a buyer as well as for a seller. Now, we're not inspectors, but we play that role because we have to make sure that our clients aren't purchasing anything or there's not any major issues before we put it on the market. So Every time you buy a property, you should get an inspection done. Obviously, your realtor, you've seen, he or she has seen hundreds of homes, thousands of homes. They can see things that, might seem like a red flag to, your client or your buyer. And, I definitely recommend getting an inspection done. But, they can play the role of an inspector if they see anything that looks a little suspicious. So number 6, an inspector. Number 5. Appraiser. Now, when it comes to purchasing a home, when you get a loan, they have to do an appraisal. When you get a mortgage, you go through the process. Appraisal is part of the process. Now, when it comes to a realtor working with buyers and sellers, they have to kind of do an appraisal themselves, and that's running the comps to see what the property's gonna sell at, or potentially what the list price is. So, we play that role, and we should have an understanding of what's going on in that neighborhood, what the comps are, what the potential value of your property is. And, this will definitely keep your seller educated on what's going on in the neighborhood, so then they're more aware of what to expect. Because, if they want to list it too high, we have the proof from doing a comp or an appraisal of what the property should sell for, and if it's too high, there's the possibility that it won't appraise. Now, an appraisal is what basically is the value that the bank gives the property that you're willing to buy, and they will only allow you to borrow up to a certain amount. So, when it comes to working with a buyer, running the comps, you don't want to do your purchase price too high just to win, because then if you're too high and it doesn't appraise, then you have to struggle or deal with, working with the seller on trying to agree to a price after it's all said and done. So we're technically appraisers. So number 5 as appraiser. Number 4. Marketing manager. So we are technically marketing managers. We're marketing ourselves. Our companies are not marketing us. We have to do this all ourselves, whether it's social media, if it's advertising, print marketing, cold calling, farming. This is stuff that we do ourselves. On average, I spend 2 to 3 hours a day just doing marketing, whether it's cold calling, networking, following up with leads, following up with my clients, sphere of influence. And, we're not compensated for that. Now, some realtors will take the marketing and put it in somebody else's hands and, pay for marketing, pay for leads, which is totally fine. That's totally up to you. But most realtors, will do their own marketing themselves. I mean, unless they have a team and they're a giant group, they might potentially, pay for that service. But most realtors are doing their own marketing. So number 4 is marketing manager. All right, getting to the top 3 here, people. Number 3. Negotiator. This is a big one. We negotiate for our clients. We negotiate the purchase of a property, the purchase price, closing costs, due diligence fee, personal property. Every little aspect of a deal there's negotiation to it. We do that for our buyers. We do that for our sellers. Most notably, we do it for ourselves, because the way I see it, there's a lot of realtors out there that will take a cut rate just to get a deal. And, if you're not going to negotiate your own, commission, then what are you going to do for your client? So we negotiate on every single aspect, whether you're working with a buyer, a seller, an investor, you're negotiating a deal to list a property, we're negotiators. That is a big, big factor. And a lot of it takes time. A lot of it takes practice. Everybody's got their own way of negotiating, but that is, one of the top 3 most important roles that we play. So number 3, negotiator. Number 2, this is going to seem funny, It might seem weird, but bear with me. Therapist. Yeah, we are technically therapists. In a way, this is a stressful process. You know, most people sell or buy a home every 3 to 5 years. They're not experienced in it. They don't do it all the time. And, you know, there's a lot of stress involved. So, you know, clients will, you know, gladly, you know, express their frustrations, their angst, their stresses when it comes to the process with you. And you have to be, you know, sympathetic. You have to listen to your clients, and you have to try to offer advice and help them through this process. And, you know, that's one role that I think is overlooked, because, you know, we're working with multiple clients every single day. Everybody's got different needs and different wants, and, you know, we got to be there for them. We're the ones that are helping them through this process. They don't do it all the time. And part of that is just managing their stresses, making sure that they know that we're on top of everything, that, you know, we're keeping in communication with them, you know, whether it's even, you know, once a week and you don't have any updates for them, you still have to be there for them. You have to listen to them. You have to communicate, and you have to listen to their issues and try to help them through the process. So number 2 is therapist. Okay, we are at number 1. You ready? It's going to tie it all together. Project managers. That is what we are. We are realtors, but we are project managers. And the reason we are is because we have to manage all of these steps. There is a process when it comes to buying or selling a home, and every step involved has to be managed. Whether you're working with inspectors, you're working with the other realtors, the other clients, the closing attorney, and all these other steps that are involved in the real estate process, we are managing the entire process. Now, some realtors, they will hire an admin to cover and help with those services, but they don't do everything. We're the professionals. We're the ones that are supposed to be taking care of these for our clients. And, you know, we have to communicate with every single person or group or team involved all the time. This is why, you know, we're project managers. And, you know, what you want to do, especially if you're new into real estate, you want to make sure you have good systems in place to ensure that all of these steps, everything that you're doing, the closing process is going smoothly. Because if you don't have good systems in place, you're going to fail. And, you know, in 5 years, 87% of realtors are out of the business. So think about that. 87% of realtors fail within the first 5 years. And, you know, whether there's certain circumstances, but a lot of realtors, if they had better systems, have a better shot of breaking the trend and making it within the first 5 years.